Now back to one of our top stories where two people have been arrested in connection with a shooting at the Johannesburg residence of former Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe. His son is one of those taken into custody, as you can see from those visuals there. Police say the victim, who is an employee at the Hyde Park property, has been taken to hospital. Officers are still trying to locate the firearm that was used in this incident. We speak now to the Newshawk's managing editor, Dumisani Muleya, who joins us to tell us what he's hearing on the Zimbabwean side of things. Dumisani, thank you so much for your time this evening. Let's just talk about what you've heard, perhaps on this side of the border. Of course, we know that the son or the mother of the son here could not even be in the country, of course.
Yes, of course. She's not able to come to South Africa because of that incident that happened at Capital Hotel in Joburg, in Sandton, in 2017. You know, when she assaulted that South African model after finding her with one of the boys arrested, that is Bellarmine Chatunga Mugabe. He was one of the guys that she had found at the hotel there with the lady. And then, of course, they were drinking and other things, partying. And then she beat them up. She beat the lady, the young lady, and the guy who is arrested, the young guy who is arrested. So basically, the family has been concerned for a long time about their activities over the years. That is particularly drinking a lot and getting into some cycles involving drugs and other things like that. I mean, they are really serious party lovers. They always paint town red, whether they're in Harare, whether they're in Joburg. And of course, one of the reasons why this is happening is the environments in which they grow in. Both of them, that is Bellarmine Mugabe and the brother, Robert Jr., they've been involved in these incidences. For instance, in the case of Bellarmine, only last year, he was involved in an assault case, or almost of a similar nature, where, together with some friends, he attacked the 3 guards at a mine in Mazowe, that is just outside Harare. The family have some farm there. They have some school projects, orphanage, and some mines there. So he went there with some friends. They attacked some guards violently, as we are hearing today that he violently attacked with a friend, a gardener who was shot and wounded and is in hospital in a critical condition. And then prior to that, he had been involved in another incident in which he had attacked a police officer who was trying to search a car. It's like he was traveling from Joburg to Harare. And then when they crossed the Beitbridge border post, which is the border between South Africa and Harare, they were stopped about 60 kilometers north of Beitbridge. And then instead of cooperating with the police, then he chose to attack the police. And all these incidences, they've happened consistently, showing a pattern of hooliganism, impunity, and general lawlessness. The brother was involved in some assault case. He was involved in some drug case. They've been accused of illegal gold trade. It's quite a hell lot of things that they've been involved in. And of course, it tells you that they are generally lawless guys.
Yeah. Dumisani, at this stage, I mean, there's so much that still needs to be confirmed when it comes to this case, because they also still haven't even found the firearm, for example, as well in all of this. Is there a sense of maybe conversations being had or anything coming out of the Zimbabwean government also with regards to this? Not because it's necessarily linked to the government, but of course this is the son of a former state official, state president, in fact, when it comes to Zimbabwe.
Yes, the government will be interested, just as the family, because they've had a lot of brushes with the law in Zimbabwe. Some of the cases I'm mentioning, they actually happened in Zimbabwe. They've been taken to court. Some of the cases, they've been let to go. But the government has had it as taken more of a soft line towards them. They've treated them with kid gloves, primarily because of their family background, that they are sons of the late former president.
Yeah.
And also because their mother is influential. She's still in good books with the current government, even though the current president overthrew their father in that coup in 2017. So they're still protected, basically. And if these things continue to happen, it's many of them. I mean, I recall one incident in the southern city of Bulawayo at some nightclub there. There was a club owned by very senior police officer called Divisions in Bulawayo. So one of the sons, I think it's the elder one, they went there and they fought with some bouncers there, and they were thoroughly badly beaten there. And the response was, instead of them being held accountable for their violence and hooliganism, the police guy had to be removed from his job, and he was posted somewhere. It became a big incident, but it never really played out in the media because most people who knew about it, they just let it pass. So there are many controversies involved in these guys. I mean, they are always all over Sandton, for instance, in clubs. I mean, they were regular features, the Taboo nightclub, and now the new clubs around Sandton there, your Selavis, your Leaves, they're always there because they are protected and they have a lot of money. So that is very important to explain why they behave like this.
Yeah, so Dumisani, as you said, very well protected, etc. So does that mean you're possibly anticipating from what you've seen, so from the people you've spoken to as well, that even in this case, they may be treated with kid gloves then?
Yeah, most likely because, you know, what is not known again in the media, sometime last year, at the same house where this incident of today happened, the same guy, he was involved in a gun incident there, but it was swept under the carpet. I was told by some family members about it. So it's not the first time a similar thing is happening at a similar house.
Wow, yeah, and I suppose that tells a story in itself. I wanted to actually ask you about something specific that we've also just seen today, this perhaps might be conspiracy, might be something different, but I wanted to ask you about a person that has come through to the house claiming to be a family member of the Mugabes. He's known only as Malcolm X. And I wanted to know if you know anything about this person at all, their relation perhaps to the Mugabe family. He came out a little bit earlier speaking about the family and actually saying that he was a member of the family, or at least a representative of the family. And the reason I ask this is because this is the same person who rocked up in another case, similarly here in South Africa, in relation to what's happening at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, and that was to Katiso KT Molefe when he was being arrested during the 6th of December 2024 takedown operation. Are you aware of a Malcolm X in relation, or at least as a representative of this family?
No, I don't know a guy by that name. What I do know is that they have quite a lot of security around them. And some of those guys, some of the guys involved in the past, they used to be members of the security agents in Zimbabwe. Now they have their own security. So this is most likely a member of their security, their private security. Because just to put into context, but I never asked this from them or any other person. That name, I first heard it in an incident in Pretoria. It involves some love triangle there.
Yeah.
When they went there to fetch someone and there was a confrontation at a house there. They were going to take a lady there from some house. And the guy who was involved in that was a police officer, South African police officer. So I heard that name, that the guy was involved in trying to help them to secure their safety while they were doing that operation. That was the time when they used to stay down Morningside in Sandton, I think somewhere down West Road South. That's where they used to live in a penthouse. And then they moved to Sandhurst, and then they are in Hyde Park. But I've heard that name, but I don't know the guy. I really don't know the guy.
Yeah, very interesting and fascinating one here overall as well to get a sense of. What do you think happens from here, from what you've seen and what you've heard? Do you think that diplomatic ties will actually come into this conversation, and we'll start seeing cooperation and perhaps conversations between both governments to get an understanding of how to move forward, perhaps even the son perhaps being taken back home to Zimbabwe?
Yeah, there will be. Definitely, there's no doubt there will be some diplomatic channels involved, because what will happen is that the government, they will contact the mother. The mother, since she can't come this side because of that case which is still hanging, then it means they will have to contact the embassy. The embassy will get involved behind the scenes to try to negotiate and see what could be done. It depends on the seriousness of the charges. And also those charges are determined by how seriously wounded is the guy. If it becomes like I heard the police spokesperson, at least the lady who was on the ground, if I remember, the Magazo, Kennel, it looked like they say they are investigating a case of attempted murder. Now, it depends on how serious the charges, formal charges will be. If they are very serious, diplomatic channels may not be able to really unlock their immediate safety without following due process.
Sure.
But if it is not a serious case in terms of how harmed the victim is, then they can use those diplomatic channels to resolve the case and take the guy out. So really, it will depend on the nature of the charges.
Very interesting one here overall. Thank you so much for sharing that with us there. Dumisani Muleya, the Newshawk's managing editor, joining us as we continue to get more with regards to this story around the shooting in Hyde Park, where we have seen the son of the former late president of Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe's son, Belamine Mugabe being arrested there as well as a confirmation, alongside another suspect who is believed to be the bodyguard to Belamine Mugabe. Also, to just give you some breaking news, as you can see on the side of your screen there as well, this vehicle in short right now that is outside of the Mugabe home in Hyde Park in Sandton is said to have been fitted with white and blue lights, police sirens there as well, found at the scene of this Hyde Park shooting. Police are said to be seizing this vehicle from the Mugabe home. The key aspects to all of this we will still find out more about, shall I say, because of police said to offer perhaps greater confirmation as to what this vehicle was precisely doing there, and a vehicle fitted with those sirens. And as you can see, it is a normal number plate as well, so it's not as though it is of any diplomatic nature or police nature as well. We'll hopefully find out more details with regards to this, but that vehicle in your picture there said to be seized by police, found at the Mugabe home in Hyde Park, fitted with white lights and police sirens.